March has absolutely flown by. So much has happened. I know that I think the last one was including the first week of March. So the rest of March is all going to be in this video, and I'm super excited to share. I have a lot of updates. So I'm not sure if you've been following along or if this is just a video I'm making for myself, because that is the reason I do it. Is last time I had gone through some hiring. I've prior to that hired some VAs. So now it's kind of been training the bulk of that. I'm not sure if I had mentioned this before. I'm really curious to look back and see if I did, but I know I made a prediction to all of my friends and the guys that are around me that I've been kind of walking this journey with. As I said, I think by the end of this hiring spree, I'm gonna have to fire one and one person's gonna opt themselves out. So, spot on. I had one person quit and I had to fire someone today. So unfortunately, that's kind of how things panned out. Firing someone was a lot harder than I was wanting it to be. I was hoping that this time around it'd be a little bit easier because I don't know these people as much, but I think just knowing where they're at in life, knowing that they could do better and that they want to do better is hard. But I think it comes with liking people and caring about people. So that was really tough. It took a lot of deliberation, a lot of consideration, but ultimately the reason that I came down to was I really can't be a good leader to the guys I have if I'm spending all of my attention over here helping this guy who's far behind just to catch up to where they're at. Where if I just take that same attention and I really pour into the guys that I do have that are solid, I can get them a lot farther, a lot faster, and then everyone makes more money, everyone enjoys their work a little bit more. It's just a win all the way around. The customers have a better customer experience because they have better dialed in people servicing their homes. Things like that are really what went into this decision for me. It was really challenging. It was a lot harder than before, and instances where I had stuff like this go down. This one was, I don't know why it took so much more. I know probably because I understood the guy's position that he was in life, and that was a real bummer. So that happened with one. That was the one I let go. The other person that quit, I was actually expecting him to be the person I was going to fire, because day one I just remember going, oh my gosh, this person's going to be fantastic, or they're just going to be an absolute time suck. And honestly, he kind of ended up being somewhere in between. I didn't see where things panned out, but day one, by the end of the day, I was kind of psyched on him. Day two, he shows up 5 minutes late, and then I was kind of frustrated with him throughout the day, but by the end of the day, I was psyched on him again. Day three, no call, no show. So I just immediately checked that off in my brain of, no, you're gonna be fired. And then 4 hours after we were supposed to leave for work that morning, get a message from him saying, hey, sorry, I had some stuff happen. One of his family members had passed away, he said, and that was why he didn't say anything. He said he didn't have his phone on him. And I believe it was a family member that he was living with. So I'm not certain, didn't pry, but I didn't say anything, so I was super busy. I had to catch up with all the work, because it was his third day, so he was actually gonna be providing extra help to make sure that the day could be finished on time. And then also I was late to work getting to the first job because I was waiting for him. So I just didn't say anything, waited out. I figured he could wait till the end of the day because I just didn't want to be late to any of our other jobs that we had set. And he ended up saying something 3 or 4 hours after that other message saying, hey, I don't think this is going to work out because the communication has been poor, which is, anyway. So he ended up opting out himself, which is great and fine because that decision had already been made that we were going to let go of him. And before that, that was already something that we were on the fence of. So I figured if I put a little bit more attention into him as an employee, we'll either see it'll either break and it will work, or it won't. And honestly, something that seems to be coming up a lot in my life right now is people aren't projects. So if you have to you shouldn't have to push and push and push and push to get the person motivated to be that person. You can just go find that person. So I'm trying to stray away from that. Both of those guys that ended up leaving us were those guys where they would be a project. It was, one of them was, he showed up, his interview on the phone said, hey, make sure like we don't do long hair, we don't do unkept facial hair, so it's got to be really dialed in. Shows up to the phone, first interview, looking like long hair, like we're talking feet, multiple feet, and a big unkept beard. And I reiterated again, I said, hey, this is fine. Like, just so you know, this is kind of, we have this standard. You can look at my beard as a reference, and for the length of the hair, it's got to be cut to be in this range, and it's got to be a little bit more professional. It can't be looking like a hippie out here. And he ended up coming through and saying, yeah, no worries, I'll definitely get a cut. When we offered him the job, we had a call with him again, and we reiterated it again, like, we'd love to offer this job, but we do need you to make sure that you do this. Yeah, no worries. Come first day, shows up, same hair, same beard. Like, I don't know what happened, but anyway, he's like, yo, no, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I was like, okay, yeah, whatever, sure, but don't know what ended up happening with that. And by the end of the day, the easiest task that we do, he couldn't figure out, and it was the hardest thing for him. He said, this is gonna be the hardest thing for sure for me to work on, and it's gonna be the hardest thing for me to learn. That's supposed to be the easiest thing, is operating the water-fed pole and using the leaf blowers he was struggling with, just doing gutters. And those are the easiest things. And then for squeegeeing, he wasn't great at that by the end of the day. It just seemed like a lot of effort to get him from where he was to just where he was going to. And part of the problem on that, I think, was hiring him. I broke one of my rules, and one of my rules that I broke was, don't hire people who have experience doing this, because you're gonna have to untrain all their bad habits, and it's not that hard to just train them on the way that it's supposed to be done, the way you want it to be done. And 6 days maybe, and I can have someone super dialed in, operating squeegee like a pro, operating the DI, no confusion where they had this other guy tell them to do it this way. None of that. I just don't like that. I don't want to deal with that. He said he had some experience, but it didn't seem like it was real. It seemed like he was kind of just posturing for the interview. That was my read. And generally speaking, I think I was right on that. He didn't really know what the heck he was doing, but he had these other beliefs about the way the work was supposed to go. So it ended up being a little bit more problematic. So that was a bummer, real bummer, to break one of my rules and have to do that. It's just reinstilling why I have those rules in the first place. So anyway, I'll be leaning harder onto the systems I set up around myself, and this was just yet another reminder of the reason that we built it the way we've built it and designed everything so far. And it's, the A players are A players. Like, when you get them, there's no reason to try and get someone from a C to a B to an A when you could just take an A to an S. You just upgrade the person. If you put the same amount of effort in, you can have an absolute all-star stellar player who can do everything, they can handle everything. You could have that instead of having the person that you're dragging along the whole way. So that's super interesting. I'm really excited about leaning into those guys who are a lot better on the front end. Once those guys are fully trained, I'm thinking another 1-2 weeks. Some of the guys are on spring break. So when they get back, once everything is set, I'm gonna lean hard on getting them fully stocked, fully ready, and then rotating them through, having a permanent schedule that you're working these days, you're working these days. On these days, you're gonna work with him, he's gonna work with you on those days. That way, there's a full set schedule, super easy, and that'll free up a lot more of my time. I'm gonna look then to hire another person to be more of a manager, take care of everything else. That way, it's gonna bring me like another step back, so I'm not even doing the day-to-day hands-on stuff, and I'm more so gonna be doing the directional things, less of me ever being on a job. That's my goal, is by the end of May to really not be needed on any jobs at all. We'll see if we can get there on time. That might be, the end of May might be me training that last guy to be in that management role. We'll see how that goes. I might end up changing my strategy on that. We'll see, but that's kind of my goal right now. As far as other things in the business, right now, we also just got another vehicle 2 days ago, and we're getting it wrapped. We're gonna have our consult with the wrap company this week to do all the design, and then we'll be doing a full wrap on that. Super excited for that. Then once that vehicle's all stocked, I have a person that I think I'm going to be buying some equipment from used secondhand for pretty good price, and I'm hoping that that'll all be good. This one's going to be a Prius. I think it'll be super fun to have a Prius with a huge ladder on top and a rack and a full company wrap. I think it'll be super iconic and something that people will see around town, and they'll just keep thinking, oh, I've seen you guys so many times, because it's just so obscure that people don't do that around here. I think the only thing better would be being a smart car, but I don't think it would be wise or safe to put a 30-foot ladder on a smart car, but that might be something to try later down the road. For the time being, I'm really excited though for that vehicle. It's gonna take a lot to get it from where that vehicle's at now to being fully furnished, fully prepped on everything. Hardest thing is I need to figure out a lining for the bed. That way the tools, equipment, everything, no water is getting into the fabrics. I want to make sure that it's not going to have that problem where the guys have to clean it out or anything like that. Don't want it to smell like getting moldy or anything like that. So I'm working on that. That's proving to be a little bit more challenging than I was expecting it to be, but I have a couple solid ideas. Super excited to see where I end up, because they're pretty different options. So that'll be exciting. Hopefully 2 weeks, that should be completely prepped, ready on the road and working full time. For other things of kind of where the business is going, I'm up against a 2-month deadline. So all of April, all of May, and that's kind of where I want to be fully set to take a big step back on my position. I know I already mentioned, but I'm not going to be doing the day-to-day stuff anymore. Hands-on cleaning windows. It's going to be a lot more stepped back and kind of running the show, marketing, whatever else, making sure that the systems are all in place, that everything is working well. That'll be really exciting. I'm really curious to see how that goes and kind of what comes of that. I know I'm going to have a bunch more challenges once I get to that point, but I think it will free up a lot more of my time, energy, and everything else to kind of gear towards getting farther in the direction that I'm going for. So I'm really excited to see where that takes me, and I'm really excited to look back on these videos later. So something I'm also doing in conjunction with these videos is I'm also fully documenting this process for me on paper. So I have step-by-step how to hire a VA, step-by-step what I did for my hiring the employees, step-by-step how I'm training, step-by-step how I'm optimizing this particular vehicle, where I'm going to buy equipment, what equipment I'm getting, why I'm getting it to fit this vehicle in particular, what's going into the wrap design, how I'm doing that, what particular things am I looking at from a marketing perspective that I want on the vehicle, and what do I not want on the vehicle. A lot of things like that. I think I have a very different perspective from a lot of people in the industry on how that should look and what the value of this is. So really curious and excited to see how all that goes. I do have it all documented. So, I mean, if that's something that other people would find value in, I'm just doing it for me for the most part. But if that is something you guys would want, I don't know, say something, I kind of just make this stuff for me, so I don't put all that much into linking everything on here. But I also have my other community where I do post a lot more of that stuff if you wanted to jump in there. But anyway, I'm really excited with how March went, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where we're at by the end of April. April should be a huge month, but I'm hoping that it's going to be very, very different as far as what my day-to-day looks like at the end of April compared to March. Same with how my March has ended compared to April, February, whatever month before, the month before that. It's like the last 6 months every month has been very, very different, progressing down the line. So I'm really, really excited about where things have gone. I'm excited to see where things are going.